Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. First off, it's not just for veterans. It's not just from people that have been in combat. Um, it's anybody with a trauma in their history can develop PTSD. I have PTSD from the tree accident a few days before my fourth birthday in 1988. I was hiking with my parents in a local park, and toward the end of the trail we were on, um, it was a breezy day, and a dead tree fell on my head. They took me to the closest hospital. The ambulance took me to the closest hospital and said that it only cut and grazed my left temple, but told my parents to keep an eye on me for the next 48 hours. My parents had trouble keeping me awake, so they had to take me to Children's in Washington, D.C. There, the neurosurgeon said that I was the closest patient he had to death, and I had subdural hematoma, which is bleeding inside the brain. So I had got a traumatic brain injury from that tree accident a lot, and from that traumatic brain injury, I got epilepsy. So it didn't just cause PTSD, but I'm going to talk about how it hurt my mental health, particularly the PTSD part. So I mentioned before that my siblings were done being afraid of fireworks, thunderstorms, and other loud noises at a certain age. So me being the youngest, I paid attention. I got to that age and I was still afraid of the storms, no matter how severe they were. It didn't matter if they were just normal storms or severe storms. I hate it. I hate the sound of all storms. It also doesn't help that all rooms are on the top floor in the house, so like it always sounds the worst upstairs. Um, and it's not just loud noises, but because it was a breezy day, wind, whenever it's windy, that gets to me. And that's why I'm talking about this today, because it's actually been windy here for a while, for a few days now. And I'm always activated when there's wind, like I said. Um, and it is so hard because there's no trees that are so close to the house that it could fall on us, but I that doesn't help me because I had that experience that one did fall on me, so my mind just goes like, where can I go to be away from all trees? And that's not a good way to live because you want to avoid anything that triggers you with PTSD. And you have flashbacks, you have your heart races, you could hyperventilate, and that's happened to me. I've hyperventilated when I've been walking around the neighborhood when it was windy. In fact, on Saturday at the walk in a nap at Sandy Point State Park, it was windy, and I literally looked around and made sure there weren't any trees that could possibly look like they were about to fall. Um, so that was not fun because I was there for a good cause, but my PTSD was kicked in. Um, so that's one part of my PTSD. Um, Now, when I was diagnosed with epilepsy in March of 99, a few days after my birthday, um, I wanted to avoid going to Florida at all cost because that's where I fell in the bathroom while getting ready for bed and had the seizure where they diagnosed me with epilepsy in the hospital. So I never wanted to go back to Florida. Um, I just went with my parents because there was nobody that was going to be here with me, and I was scared to be home alone with my epilepsy. So it definitely affected my PTSD again. And another thing, in ninth grade, the second semester of ninth grade, I fell down a flight of stairs in my high school. So every time I get to this flight of stairs that's a set of two flights of stairs, I get scared and I don't want to walk down them. But sometimes it's the closest, easiest, and fastest way to get places. But I'm still scared because I fell down one flight out or two flights in my high school. So that's another thing of my PTSD is I have to try to calm myself down whenever I get to the top of stairs when I'm out by myself. Um, that's it for now, and I would talk again. Well, thanks. Bye.